Hello, my name is Tina Andrews. Thank you so much for joining us today for this interest session. We are very excited for the PIC Community Doula program that we are starting. I am coming to you from my home, and most of our sessions will be online because of COVID-19, but we do hope soon in the future to be able to gather together for this work. Today we're going to talk about the goals of the program and then the timeline. So we are the Parent Information Center of Delaware. For 37 years, we have been a statewide organization that supports families in getting appropriate education and services for their children. Our goal is to advance effective parent engagement in education and for all children to fulfill their potential to succeed. So how does this fit in with a doula program? Well, when we opened our doors, we served about 300 parents a year. Now, 37 years later, we serve about 90,000 families with information, education, and support we have served. So we want to broaden our work to include families at the very beginning, which is in the birth and the pregnancy, birth, and postpartum experience, because the quality of a child's education depends greatly on the ability of parents and caregivers to locate, understand, and utilize information that empowers them to be their children's best lifelong advocates. And this happens from the beginning. So, why is prenatal support important? It improves childbirth outcomes, increases care quality, and there is a cost savings as well. It reduces the rates of cesarean deliveries, prematurity, and illness in newborns, and decreases the likelihood of postpartum depression. Doula care also provides overall satisfaction with the experience of childbirth and increases breastfeeding initiation and duration. We also provide postpartum support, which helps to decrease fatigue, tiredness, and pain, increases rates of breastfeeding initiation, improves the parent-child attachment and bonding, and has so many benefits for parents, families, and children. So what is a doula specifically? So you are here hopefully because you are interested in our community doula program. So I wanted to show you this, which talks about what a doula is and why it's important to have doulas of color, serving doulas of color in community.
To me, a doula is a person who supports a mom. To me, a doula is a person who supports a mom.
It is a certified professional that provides not only emotional, physical, but also informational support to a mother.
A doula to me is the perfect complement to a midwife. She is there for the mom.
Through labor, through birth, and postpartum.
Just so that a mother feels that there is a continuous line of support.
And I also like to think of myself as a servant to a mother who's going through this amazing journey.
She's there to basically essentially help the entire family through the process of labor and birth.
Push, so we can get the baby set up.
actual term doula is a Greek term, which meant like handmaiden or servant, because there was typically a servant in the household who helped to attend births. So that's kind of where that term initially came from. And then it got picked up again like in the late 60s, early 70s to specifically talk about women who helped women during birth. You know, women have been supporting each other through birth since time eternal. And it hasn't always necessarily been called a doula. Traditionally in the South, most of the midwives were Black historically and were referred to as the granny midwives or the grand midwives. And they are really held with kind of keeping midwifery alive in the U.S. And they often did a lot of the things that doulas do now. So kind of traditionally that role was done by the midwife and then with someone else kind of from the house supporting. Usually was an older female relative who was familiar with birth, who would also offer you support.
I feel like I chose the path to become a doula, one, because I was inspired by being doula myself.
I personally felt like my providers did not listen to me when I stated that I did not want certain things to happen.
I really felt like the women supported me.
I did have a birth plan, but nothing was followed.
And me being the caring person that I am, I felt like I can do that same thing to other moms, be their support, their rock, their strengths. Whatever they're lacking, I'm there to help them. And that really is just satisfying for me.
And I feel as though if I would have been present as a doula, who I am now, in my own birth, a lot of things would not have happened.
Talk about health disparities. We can separate out birth disparities and really focus on looking at African American women, especially in the U.S., who have infant mortality rates double than Caucasian women in this country. In D.C. alone, Ward 8 has double the amount. And actually, what's even ironically even more interesting is that if you look at wards 1 and 2 that are predominantly white, their infant mortality is 0. When you get to Ward 8, Ward 7, and even parts of Ward 5, it's double and triple the national average, which would be about 13%. There are a lot of different things that I feel like we are doing as a profession in midwifery and also birth workers, doulas, to try to work on some of those health outcomes. I think having providers of color is massive. I think taking care of this population, they want to see people that look like them. I think another aspect is having doulas of color who understand more of the aspects of the culture of taking care of this population that's predominantly African American. With that conversation, we're developing more culturally appropriate interventions. And what we know is we have moms that are very stressed and they need different levels of support and most of the time more intimate support. So that's where doulas and midwifery come in to combat that.
And on this hand, maybe
should be the purpose.
Yeah, and you just want to make sure that the baby's really
facing.
facing you and
Okay.
not facing up. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can hold your breast with this hand.
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you have really nice.
As a doula, I am there for you every step of the way. Every rest point, I'm handing you water and I'm telling you, you can do this, you can do it, you were made for this.
I really felt empowered with the women around me. Having a doula at my birth was like having my mom there, and just to have another woman there and still feel like I had someone there playing the role of my mom was very helpful, and I definitely think it helped me through the birth.
My name is Khadija.
My name is Munira.
My name is Gigi.
And I am a doula.
And I am a doula.
And I am a doula.
To me, a doula is
Hopefully you liked that as much as I did. I thought was a good synopsis of why doulas are important, why it's important to see yourself and your family in your doula, and that communities have women to support each other. So our goals with this program is to raise awareness about the benefits and availability of community-based doulas. So we will be talking about doulas, what doulas do, promoting support in pregnancy and postpartum. We are going to train a cohort of parents in childbirth and postpartum doula work, and provide certification. We are going to provide parents with an opportunity to engage in parent leadership and advocacy, and then also refer parents and community members to perinatal support services available in and appropriate for underserved communities and those facing linguistic and cultural barriers. So the community that we are targeted to serve is Seaford, which has a population of almost 8,000 people with a median age being 39.5 years old. So Seaford was chosen because there are a lot of families in poverty. There are a large number of Haitian and Mexican immigrants, and there is a hospital that serves the community there, which has a 20% C-section rate. So it was definitely an area where we felt that doulas and information about prenatal support was needed. We are using a certification program called Still Birthday. The reason that we chose Still Birthday is because it talks about all types of birth, including stillbirth, including miscarriage, including C-sections, and it also focuses on the cultural importance and some of the history, and gives a lot of resources for prospective doulas. It is an online certification program. It has 8 modules, a book review that you do, and then a community project, which is pulling community resources together. Also, as part of the PIC community doula program, our doulas will be serving at least 2 women in a birth experience in their community. And our target area is Seaford. All of our doulas will serve the Seaford area, but they will also serve Sussex County and their communities. So when the program starts on Monday, April 12th, we will have webinars every other Monday at 6 p.m. These will be recorded and available if you need to miss one, but they will follow along on the different chapters, the different modules that you need to complete for the Still Birthday. We'll also be adding information that is relevant to Seaford and Sussex County, and bringing in speakers and additional people to discuss being a doula and also serving Seaford and Sussex County. Additionally, we will have available to everyone, not just our doula candidates, pregnancy and postpartum webinars to talk about why it's important, what options a pregnant and postpartum family has. So here are some of the topics we'll be talking about. What is a doula? Cultural and religious influences on childbirth, nutrition and exercise, COVID-19 and how that has changed childbirth, and what we're finding out about COVID-19 and pregnancy. Grief in pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum, lactation, and then just all about postpartum health and support. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at candrews@picofdel.org or give us a call at 302-999-7394. My extension is 104. If you are ready for the next step, our application due date is March 19th. We will have interviews on the 25th and the 26th. And then we will make decisions about who will be in our first cohort on April 2nd. Our program will officially start Monday, April 12th. We are having a focus group in Sussex County. We're having 2 on Monday, March 8th and Thursday, March 18th to talk with the community, find out what is important, and make sure that our doula program is focused where it needs to be, is bringing the information that is needed to the community that we are serving. If you would like an application link to the application, please again call or email, and I will definitely send that out to you. We are excited to have you apply and to have you be a part of our cohort. Thank you so much.